how do you find these referral partners to fill up your pipeline? And can you talk a little bit why referral partners are so important, and then go into how do you find them?
My number one answer, 100%, is I built centers of influence. And you guys may be saying, like, what is that? Or what do you mean by that? Or who's a good centers of influence? If you have those questions, you're in the right spot, because I'm going to provide those answers for you tonight. And so I just know that when I started in the sales, I quickly, and I mean quickly, David, found out that I hated cold calling. I did not want to sit behind a desk and just pick up the phone, hello, hang up, and be hung up on. Like, that's not fun for me. I'm an outgoing person. I need to be moving around. At one point, I had to get a stand-up desk because I could not sit in my chair for that long. And so I just really quickly realized, like, man, I'm going to burn myself out and hate insurance if I continue to do 150 calls a day, talk to 5 people, and only quote one person. Like, I need not so cold calls. I need warm leads. I need people that want to talk to me, that's looking forward to talking to me. And so I got around building centers of influence, building and reaching out to people that are like-minded, but that are in front of the same type of clients that I needed to be in front of. And so if they were working with the people that I needed to work with, then I needed to build a connection with them so that there was a partnership, and so that they could send me leads, and in return that I could help add value to them. And so that is really where it started for me, was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I found like-minded people. I sat down. I love to brain dump. I love to get a blank sheet of paper, or you guys can probably see back here, my whiteboard, and just brain dump and say, okay, listen, this is who is in front of my clients every single day. And these are who I'm going to challenge myself to reach out to. And so who makes a good centers of influence, David? Who makes a good referral partner, right? So let me share you my top people that I use. Real estate agents, mortgage lenders, CPAs, financial advisors, accountants, lawyers, payroll services, HR companies. I lost David. He can't write fast enough. Other insurance agents. And then those are like the top ones, right, that we can think of. And then I challenged myself even more to say, okay, guess what? There may be other insurance agents that are on the same wavelength as me and reaching out to these same people. So how can I be a little bit different? So I reached outside of my box and I said, okay, let me think. So then I went to nail salons and hair salons. You're probably like, what, Trista? What are you talking about? Let me explain. Nail salons, hair salons, the barbers, doctor's offices, churches, schools. And I did something different with them. And I did giveaways and things like that for them to provide, and for me to get that exposure and add value to them. And in return, man, I was getting leads. I was getting so many leads that I could not keep up, David. And yes, it was raining money for me. And so
raining leads. Hallelujah.
Raining leads. And so, but they were warm leads. These are people that wanted to talk to me, people that were expecting my phone call, people that weren't hanging up on me. And so, yes, that is really finding those referral partners to fill my pipeline are people just like that.
What are your favorite local marketing strategies for rapid growth? Did you guys hear that? Local marketing strategies for rapid growth.
It's so important when you're reaching out. I guess the biggest strategy takeaway from this is when you're reaching out to build your centers of influence. Oftentimes we can look at it, and all of you guys can probably relate if you guys are in a brick and mortar building and you have people coming in like Serve Pro, or, hey, use us the next time you have a claim, or your client has a claim, or, hey, Safe Flight, or, all those different people that come in and they drop off a bag of candy and they're like, hey, have you had any claims lately? Here's my business card. Make sure you use us. And then they walk away, right? First of all, it bugs me. There were times when I was an agent that I literally would see them walking in, and I would tell my administrative assistant, I was like, tell them I'm busy or I'm in a meeting because I don't want to talk to them right now. Why? Because I didn't see that they were adding any type of value to me. They just came in for one reason. They wanted my customers whenever my customers had a claim. And I didn't want to be that type of agent to other people that I was trying to build partnerships with. And so I always led, and my biggest takeaway to you guys is lead with value. When you guys are going to build up and say, hey, I'm going to build my pipeline, I'm going to reach out to mortgage lenders in my area, I'm going to reach out to CPAs, build value to them. Show them when you're approaching them how you can add value to them. Don't even mention at the first meeting or that first time, hey, if I send people your way, will you send people mine? Don't even mention having them send people your way. Let them come up with their idea, but you ultimately know that that's where it's going to lead. And a way to add value is listening to them. I always say, like, when you're wanting to build your partnerships and your referrals, interview them in a way. Why? You want to know what their why is. Like, I asked my centers of influence, why do you do what you do? And I want to see that if they light up with passion, if they light up with, man, I am passionate about helping people find their dream home. I'm passionate about getting people approved for a loan that maybe they never thought they could. And maybe they might not use the word passionate, but their face is going to light up. Their actions are going to show. They may begin to talk in a different way. Why? Because that's their why. I don't want to partner with someone that says, I just wake up and I come here and I just do what I do. Like, I'm just making bygones. And I don't want to partner with you. Good luck. Goodbye. You're not my flavor of them. Like, not happening. Exactly. And so when you're talking to these people and you're interviewing these people and finding out their why, David, find their pain points. I always have a good friend that always says, like, find people's pain points, because when you find people's pain points, then you can provide and be a solution. And so for my friend, her pain point was social media. Like, she sucked at it. So I was like, man, I'm going to capitalize on your pain point and I'm going to help and provide a solution for you. And so I'm not even in the insurance business as far as writing business anymore, because I'm coaching and doing what I love to do. But I still have access to her Facebook, and still every once in a while she's like, hey, can you get on there and do something? I can't figure it out. I'm still adding value to her, that she was like, man, if you were still writing business, and she was mad at me when I stopped writing business. But it's so important to find their pain points and then be creative on how you provide solution for them. David, you asked me what are some of my favorite marketing strategies. Well, one is I worked with a realtor and I worked with a mortgage lender, and we were like, listen, what are something that we have in common that we're passionate about, which obviously was helping people. But we all decided that man, we want to see people that never thought that they could buy their dream home or never thought that they could be homeowners. They thought they were going to be stuck in the renting for the rest of their life. Let's see how we can add value to those types of people and make their dream a reality. I'm a firm believer that dreams are never meant to be dreams or stay dreams. They're meant to become a reality. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make this happen. So the three of us, myself, my mortgage lender that I worked with, and then the realtor, we did first-time home buyer workshops. We connected, we advertised it. We had people coming in to one of our offices. And then we did this workshop that was an hour long. We served dinner, we had food. And then the mortgage lender got up there and got to talk and say, hey, this is what you need to do to get pre-qualified, and actually started qualifying people on the spot. It was amazing to see, like, faces light up, like, you mean home ownership is an actual reality for me? Like, that's amazing to see that happen. And then so they explained the ins and outs of a home loan, right? And then the realtor got up and she talked them through, like, hey, listen, your next step is you're going to meet with me and I'm going to help find that home. We got you approved, but I'm going to help find you that home. And then I got up and I explained insurance and homeowners insurance to them. And I was like, now, once you find that dream home, David, it's my job to protect that dream home. And so then we worked together and we did these things monthly, and we would have 10, 15 people come out into the community and we worked with them. And if they weren't ready to buy their home, we had solutions to help them get out of debt, help them raise their credit, help them see it become a reality. And these people came together and we did these things, and we rapidly grew because we were doing these consistently. And we started getting known in the community, like, oh, you want to buy a home? Oh, you got to get connected with these three people because they make it a reality. And so we did things like that. Another big thing, David, you got to be out in your local community. If you're an insurance agent and you're just, whether you're virtual, a lot of people are able to work from home now, or you have a brick and mortar, please, please, please hear me. Get out into the community and tell people what you do. No, don't go out there and screaming from the rooftops, I'm Trista and I sell insurance. You're going to scare everyone away. But go out there. I'm Trista. I love what I get to do. And guess what I get to do? I get to help people just like you every single day protect their assets. They're going to be like, what do you mean by that? Great question. I'm so glad you asked. And then you lead into it. And so do community events. Get out there and be part of the community. Throw your own events. Every year we would throw a fun festival, a summer fun festival. We had bounce castles. We had hot dogs. We had the dunk your agent. Yes, I allowed people to throw baseballs at me and dunk me in the dunk tank, but it was super fun. Kids loved it. We had carnival games out there, and we partnered with local businesses to come and be a part of this. And so it was an entire community event, and we had hundreds of people coming and showing up. And then guess what we did? I had a little box and say, hey, enter to win for a free iPad. And then on the little lead card, they would say, I asked them, can I quote your business? They would say yes. And they would put it in. And I walked away from that event with 200-300 leads to follow up with. Free leads that were warm, David. They said yes to a quote. Like, who doesn't want that? Be a part of your community, guys. If you guys, your job as an insurance agent is to protect the community, you can't protect them if you're not part of it. So get involved with your community.
What's your advice for people wanting to do more on social media to generate referrals?
Absolutely. So first piece of advice is schedule time throughout your day, every single day for social media, and schedule it, and not just schedule it, but set a timer. Like, okay, I'm going to devote 30 minutes a day for social media, and then have a timer. And once that timer goes off, you're done. And why I say that is because social media has a way to suck us in, and we go on with the intent that we're going to do business-minded stuff. And before you know it, you're liking and looking at Facebook Reels. And there are so many things on social media. David, groups. Guys, you guys are all involved with a group right now. One of the largest marketing groups out there for insurance agents. Hello, 28,000 people. Get involved with groups and that are around people that are like-minded with you. So like, my niche is I want to work with real estate agents. Get involved with a real estate group and then begin to see how you can add value to that group. Don't go in there, guys. Don't go in there with guns blazing and get accepted. The admin accept you. And the next thing you know, you're like, hey, listen, I want you guys all work with me. Don't do that. Casually get in there, build relationships with the people. And so go where the people that you want to work with, go where they hang out and who they hang out with. So there's just about any type of group that you can have on Facebook. If you're a business owner, you want to target business owners, there's a group for that. A mom's group, there's a group. An entrepreneur group, there's a group for just about anything. So getting involved with groups, and then looking and saying, using your social media, let your people know that you're a real person. I think sometimes people realize and don't think like insurance agents are real people, because we can call 1-800 and save 15% on our insurance, not naming any, I'm not naming any insurance company that's like that, but you can save 15% on with just 15 minutes of your time. And you realize that it's just, not a real it's a real person, David, but not a real person that's really passionate about making sure you're properly protected.
Kind of looks like
and
Elizabeth.
So exactly. And so getting to know people, letting people see that you're a real person, that you have a family, that you're passionate about who you are. So, using social media to build that know, like, and trust factor, just as you would if you were in person, getting people to know that. And then the other thing is, I said, find ways on social media to add value. You guys can go on there. I challenge you to go on there and start doing videos and talk about one thing that I challenge TCC members all the time is go on there and do did you know videos. How many of us, if we weren't in the insurance world, would really understand insurance? For us, we still hear it. Oh, I want full coverage. There's no such thing as full coverage. Well, go on there and educating clients on that, doing did you know 30 minutes or 30-second minute videos and challenging people that way, but really using your social media to add value to you. And then you're going to begin to see other people that these are part of the groups. And man, she really is passionate about insurance. He really is passionate. Let me connect and see what kind of, if we can partner together. You're going to start seeing people reach out to you to partner as well. Oftentimes I get approached with this, oh my gosh, I'm using social media, but how do I start conversations on social media? Guys, it's the same way you would start a conversation if you were face-to-face. It's the same way, just it's on a computer. So if you were face to face, asking them like, man, how long have you been in the business? Why did you do it? How did you get into it? Why do you do what you do? Asking that why. Same thing over there. Like, hey, on Facebook, hey, David, I saw that you work with Howard Hanna. What made you do that? How long have you been in it? And then before you know it, it's just a natural conversation. And you're like, man, I really, he's really somebody that I could work with. And so it's a natural progression. But there's oftentimes you can find something about someone that is either similar to you. Women, it's a little bit easier. I can go up to a woman and be like, hey, I like your shoes, I like your purse. And all of a sudden a conversation started. Finding something on their page, finding something that you could relate to or you're similar to, and start the conversation. And then before you know it, you're talking about a full-blown on conversation where you're asking them how you can add value and you're creating a partnership. I watched a video, and if you guys are in this group, the video was posted earlier today. I watched that, and if you haven't, it's in here, you'll find it. But listen, he said something that was so powerful. Being skeptical never leads to success, right? Never. So maybe you're sitting here and you're listening to everything I'm saying or David's saying, like, that all sounds really good, but like, I'm going to see if it actually is really for me. I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to kind of see. And I don't know, and you search looking for the very one thing that says, man, I told you it wasn't for real. I told you, listen, I'm going to challenge you today because I was once skeptical as well. I was once that person, like, I don't think that I could build centers of influence, but man, I'm going to do whatever I can to prove myself wrong because I don't want to cold call again. And here I am to where I opened up my own agency and I built it to 2.8 million. And if I would have stayed skeptical, stayed looking at me, I don't think it's going to work. I would have been miserable, burned out, and no longer in the insurance, and you wouldn't be learning from me today. But let me tell you, I am going to challenge you today, and I'm challenging you the same way that my agency owner challenged me. And he was like, man, how can this work for me? How can this work for me? First of all, it starts with, you got to show up, David. You got to show up. You got to have a positive mindset. And the same thing that I'm teaching our TCC members is you got to show up September, because what does that mean? Well, one, you got to be committed to accountability and remain coachable. Sometimes, guys, we can get in this mindset as like, oh, I've arrived. I made it. Oh, I have this big book of business. I don't need to do this. Clearly something in you wanted to learn more that you're on this call today or that you're catching the replay. So maybe there is still some things out there that you can learn, because I've always been told that if you're in a room and you're the smartest person in that room, get out because you're in the wrong room. Surround yourself with people that know more than you do. Not because, oh, little is me, but because there's always things to learn. You should always be learning. So show up. Man, our TCC members that have been challenged, and they've started this challenge on September 1st, they've been showing up. Man, I've been seeing their Facebook pages go off because they've been putting videos. I've been seeing them post every single day doing the same things that I talked about tonight. They are dropping their activity, and man, they are being held accountable. Man, we had one person from one social media post, guys, one social media video. He wrote 6 policies, not policies. I don't know what I'm saying. Policies, David wrote 6 from one video, guys. It works. Guys, it works. We are seeing success. I had a meeting today with one of my clients, and he was like, man, I have a real estate agent that sent me business. And I'm like, well, did you follow up? Are you building a partnership with him? And he's like, I thought about it. I was like, no, that's your homework. I'm giving you homework. Go build the partnership with them. So that's what he's going to go do. And so, guys, listen, it works. Stop being skeptical. Take a leap of faith. Implement what we teach you and show up. David, can you just say this? Show up, David. Show up.
Get that, Maria. Show up.
Exactly.
And just reiterating on a little bit of that on about like learning and being a student, like the most successful people in this industry are learners. They're people that are constantly learning and implementing, testing, building, growing. The same things don't work all the time and always. The people that are able to last in this industry, grow, be part of that 8% are the people that learn and implement. I take the mindset of I can learn something new from anyone at any time. I don't care if they have a $100 million agency. I don't care if they started yesterday. they probably know something, at least one thing that I do not know, or something that they are an expert in or know really well that I can learn from them. And when you take that attitude, you're a constant learner, you're constantly acquiring knowledge, you're constantly able to apply that to your business.